please tell us more about Read Singapore project?
Yeah, Read Singapore started in 2005. When we started this project in 2004, I have checked on the internet what other countries doing. They have this program called One Book, One Nation. One Book, One Nation. They select one story to get the whole city to read, and people come together for discussion. But in Singapore, we could not just have one book, one language, because we are multiracial. We
so
have
which
four.
Country has
Singapore.
That?
No, the
one,
country.
One Book, One Nation.
Australia, US, they have this program called One Book, One Nation. So when I learned from them, I said Singapore cannot be one book, one nation. We are multiracial society. So we have selected books in 4 languages: English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. With these 4 languages, we have selected the novels based on the theme. Like this year, the theme is transition. We select the story based on the theme, and we select the story, the novels. The first year, I select novels. I get people to read. But when they see my novels, they get frightened because they said so thick. So second year, I changed to short story. So short story, easy to read. So inside this book, there are 8 short stories inside. So with the short story, we have translated the short story into the other languages. So this is the English version. We have the Chinese version, Malay and Tamil version. So I can read a Tamil book in English or Chinese. And after reading, you can read a English book maybe in Malay. So with that, we read the same story, and after that, we come together to discuss, to share, and we learn from one another. And we form reading clubs and read monthly. So basically, we want people to share with one another and learn from one another.
Are you focusing only on children or adults as well?
This one is for adult. This one is for adult, 15, teen to senior. So I have teenage reading club, I have senior reading clubs formed under the Read Singapore campaign. So every year we have select books. So like all these are the short story, but we have it inside here. With the short story, and they can read one story 1 month. 1 month they come together, meet monthly. And with this meeting session, the club go on, every month they meet. And in a way, they learn from one another, then they have bonding and they carry on.
How's the feedback?
Oh, they love because they can read anywhere, they can just hold it. And what they like is the story, they can come together to share, to discuss, and to learn from one another. So we have a community center. We also have it at the community center, school, and also government department, the office. So lunchtime they come together, colleagues come together 10, 20 to talk about the story while they have the lunch also. So with this, we also have audiobooks. These audiobooks, we have English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. With the audiobooks, the senior citizens or visually handicapped, they can listen to the story. After listening to the story, while you're driving, you also can have the audiobooks. You can listen. Then you can share, come and share, join the reading clubs. But now, this year, we start mobile read. While you can download the short story in your handphone, iPhone, and you can read it anywhere, anytime, in the train or wherever, or in the iPad.
What is the Books Come Alive project?
Books Come Alive project is we get children to participate weekly session at the library where we provide quiz for them while they have to go and search the information. Eventually, they disclose the title of a detective book story. So make them carry on coming, searching for things, and eventually they solve the mystery. It's a mystery and detective programs, train them to be detector.
What about the project called 10,000 and More
Fathers Readings? This is the one that we get. We encourage fathers to read to the children. We conduct reading workshop for fathers. And we have this book here, is a story written by fathers. This is one on MP. And we also have tips for fathers, to fathers.
So this project would invite fathers to come to where? Community centers?
We organize at the library, community center, even your office. We conduct workshop for fathers. So we tell the fathers the importance of reading, how the brain develop. If you read, they will develop very fast, simulate it. And then what are the books that the father can use, how to tell a story, the storytelling skill. We conduct this workshop.
Why focus on fathers?
Normally at home, mother is the one usually read. So we want fathers to realize that this is not only mother's duty. Fathers should come in as a family to encourage reading. And after we started this program, a lot of children told us that they enjoy the reading from the father, because they said when my father read, my father can have different voices, can dramatize, or else mother maybe just carry on. Of course not all, but then they found that, wow, now my father also read. So we want to, as a family, we want husband and wife come together to share. Usually when you say programs, workshop, all this, usually mother come. Not many fathers come. I always conduct parents reading workshop. I can see, let's say I have 40, maybe 2 or 3 are fathers. So now this workshop are basically for father. So we go to company also, no? We tell the company, get your men to come and attend a program.
Professor, do Malaysians in general read less today?
Not really. As I said, it depends on how you define reading. If you look at the social media and if they are reading their handphones, their messages, if they are reading tablets, they are reading iPads, so I think the reading culture has actually improved. And this is partly because of the intervention programs taken by the government, by the schools, and interestingly by certain private organizations too in Malaysia. For example, in schools we have specific reading programs embedded within the language classrooms, where students are made to go to the library, where students are now asked to read books and then to record the books that they've read and then to share with their friends. And that is one activity to summarize. And private organizations like FNN, the soft drink company, they also sponsored materials to schools. For example, some of the private companies, they give newspapers to schools for children to read, and and they use it in the schools.
Why is reading so important?
Reading is very important because reading is the basic to everything. I always tell my doctor friends, I got a PhD, I'm a doctor. Dr. Ambika Pati Pandian. I say I'm a doctor of words, I'm a doctor of books. Whereas my medical doctor is a doctor of knives. When he operates, he cuts with a knife.
Right.
But I cut with words. When I cut with a knife, you can, heal, it will heal after some time. But when you cut with words, it will be there forever. To give an example, if I tell you you're the most beautiful lady that I've ever met in my life, and you are beautiful, and if nobody has said that to you, you'll never forget me for the rest of your life. And why? Because I used the word beautiful. And that has impact for the rest of life. Okay, so how do I get these ideas? It's all through reading. 2, if you're talking about free trade zone, we're talking about ASEAN, we're talking about one community. Where does that come from? From knowledge. And where does the knowledge come from? From reading. And if you want to talk of one family, one brotherhood, one sisterhood, we need to be on the same platform, on the same field. And the only measure, one measure that puts us on that platform is knowledge and reading.
Now, some people might think reading is something for academics or students to do, but then not for me to do, because I just go on with my daily life, I do my job, I know how to do it. Why do I need to read more?
Well, actually you are reading and you say not reading. I'll give you an example. Okay, for school, for exams, I read. When I go out, I don't read. But when you look at the street of the, signs of the street, are you not reading? When you go to work, what about newspapers when you read? Are you not reading? I did a study in 1997 because in Malaysia, to be specific, the focus was on reading skills. We just wanted our citizens to know how to read.
To be literate.
To be literate. So we find that we got 100% literacy already in Malaysia now. But people are not continuing reading. And I call this a reading reluctancy phenomena, a reluctancy phenomena. Reading reluctancy simply means people who can read but they don't read. And there's no difference between people who can read and don't read and people who cannot read. Because many studies, including mine, has shown that reading models has an influence on reading. Meaning, if I read and I go home and I read to my children, or if I sit and read, my children will also start reading. Because reading is caught, it is not taught. I don't have to tell my children to read. I start reading,
they will read.
My wife starts reading, my other family members start reading, they will read. It's all caught. Schools, you see teachers reading, the students will read. The problem is teachers say, go and read. Father says, go and read. How to read? You are not reading. Because I don't see role models. So, the implication is, when people who can read and don't read, they are going to create another generation of non-readers. Because reading models has an effect on reading.
So if the majority of the population don't really read or read less, would that country become dumber?